If you are hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock. The WNBA star teamed up with Nike for a player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in Indiana Fever colors. You see them on your screen. They dropped at 10 a.m. Monday, and they sold out before 11 a.m. In fact, in just minutes. The $190 kicks are already showing up on the secondary market at close to double the retail price.
Imagine landing the most groundbreaking contract in the history of women's sports, a jaw-dropping $28 million deal. Now imagine almost blowing it. That was the razor-thin line Nike walked in the high-stakes chase for Caitlin Clark, the most electric talent women's basketball has ever seen. Before the swoosh made its official move, the behind-the-scenes battle was intense and dead serious. Under Armour launched a full-court press, with none other than Stephen Curry himself leading the charge. He didn't just send a message, he personally pitched Clark, offering her the chance to craft a legacy of her own, not just as an athlete, but as the face of a growing empire under his wing. Meanwhile, Adidas entered the fray with deep pockets and zero hesitation. Insiders say they were prepared to sign whatever check it took to secure Clark, a player who was not only smashing viewership records but redefining what marketability looked like in real time. Nike, long regarded as the king of the sportswear world, responded the only way they knew how, by dropping a historic, headline-grabbing offer. When the smoke cleared, they had won. Clark chose Nike. The sports world erupted, calling it a watershed moment for women's athletics and athlete branding. But just when it seemed like everything had gone according to plan, something unexpected happened: silence. No rollout, no commercial blitz, no viral campaign. And as the weeks dragged on, an unsettling question began to echo across the industry: did Nike just drop the ball on the most can't-miss star in modern sports?
People kept saying, oh, Nike fumbled the bag with Caitlin. It has to get out there. Nike fumbled the bag. No, they didn't. It takes time. She's got to develop a whole freaking product line. But they just announced breaking news right now. We have a logo. That is the official Caitlin Clark Nike logo. And it's not just that. I mean, this is cool. Nike has just announced that a signature product line will be dropping soon, with signature shoes coming in 2026. Now, this is going to be her logo for all of her Nike stuff that is Caitlin Clark official stuff. Just like
in the months following the blockbuster deal, something strange happened, or rather, didn't happen. Despite locking in Caitlin Clark with a record-breaking contract, Nike's marketing machine fell eerily silent. No big unveil. No signature shoe. No high-energy commercials flooding your screen. Meanwhile, Clark wasn't just holding up her end of the deal, she was dominating it. Night after night, she lit up scoreboards, packed out arenas, and headlined every sports segment in the country. Her name was everywhere, except, oddly enough, in Nike's own campaigns. As the silence stretched on, frustration turned into fury. Fans were confused. Analysts were baffled. Social media caught fire with one prevailing narrative: Nike had fumbled it. Badly. Critics argued that they'd missed the golden moment, the kind of hype you can't fake, can't manufacture, and may never see again. And for a brand that built its empire on being first, loudest, and boldest, this radio silence was deafening.
It's growing on me. I do. I think I like it. I went to order a t-shirt and I can't get one. We're on that pre-order action, I guess. Comparison, this is the logo, the two CCs intertwined together. Somebody said it looked a lot like a 1950s airline logo, and I was like, I kind of see that. There's Brianna.
By now, the story seemed cemented. Nike, the global powerhouse, the gold standard in sports branding, had dropped the ball. The internet had already written the headline, and critics were eager to hit publish. But while the world speculated, inside Nike's Beaverton headquarters, a very different game was unfolding. The silence? It wasn't an oversight. It wasn't hesitation. It was strategy, deliberate and ice-cold. Behind those closed doors, there was no panic. No scrambling. Nike wasn't sleeping on the moment. They were studying it, stalking it. They weren't in a race to react, they were engineering a moment built to last. Every delay was part of a larger plan. They weren't just planning a rollout. They were preparing to drop a hammer, the kind of move designed not just to make waves, but to shift the entire landscape of women's sports forever. When they finally pulled the trigger, it wouldn't just be about shoes or sponsorships. It would be about legacy and control of the narrative on a global scale.
Double C on my jacket like Caitlin Clark. Flau'jae Johnson called it with her reference to CC in her song, because finally Nike has unveiled the signature CC logo, which features 2 C's. Caitlin Clark, of course, her name. I've joked about this situation for a while when people wonder what was going on with Nike, and I just can't imagine they would sign her to the deal that they did and then not eventually have some big product on the way. And of course, she is part of the partnership as well. Perhaps she could have been promoted more in the meantime, but regardless, she's so popular, all you got to do is drop a link.
But before Nike could pull the curtain back on their masterstroke, they needed something crucial, undeniable proof. Not just of Caitlin Clark's star power, but of her ability to move markets. They had to make it crystal clear that what they'd signed wasn't just an athlete, it was a one-woman economic engine. And that proof? It arrived in the form of a ghost. Rather than immediately unveiling a signature line, Nike made a subtler, almost cryptic move. They released a special player edition of the iconic Kobe 5 Protro, reimagined in Indiana Fever colors. No official name on it. No mention of Clark in the branding. But the message was loud and clear. Everyone knew exactly who the shoe was honoring. It was a calculated play, letting the sneaker world and fans alike connect the dots on their own. And when those limited pairs started flying off shelves, the message was received. The hype wasn't just real, it was profitable. Massively so. Nike now had their proof of concept. The world was paying attention. And the stage was finally set for the next move.
Caitlin Clark just gifted her entire team her signature merch, but it wasn't just the team. Every fan that shows up to Gamebridge tonight will get the first release of Caitlin Clark's signature merchandise from Nike. Caitlin Clark is simply the talk of the internet today. Her and Taylor Swift broke the damn internet. Yes, bro. And for all the people that was hitting me up about Caitlin Clark's signature logo, somebody said it looked like Chanel. I said it looked like Gucci. But whatever it is a luxury sports brand. I can't think of very many luxuries.
At exactly 10 a.m. on release day, Nike quietly let the shoes go live. And by 10:05, they were gone, completely wiped out. Roughly 14,000 pairs vanished in just 5 minutes. Not a slow burn. Not a gradual sellout. A digital stampede. Then came the aftershock. Within hours, resale platforms were in a frenzy. The $190 retail price had doubled, then tripled. Pairs were suddenly commanding $400, even $500. And in some corners of the market, bids surged as high as $800. This wasn't a sneaker drop, it was a financial flashpoint. Nike hadn't just released a product. They had triggered a market-wide quake. And with it, they secured exactly what they needed, irrefutable data. The demand wasn't just high, it was explosive. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a cultural force. She was an economic phenomenon. And now, Nike had the numbers to prove it.
Caitlin's signature logo pulls you in like her game. It features interlocking C's. Her mark is emblematic of ever-expanding range on the court. Celebrate her logo debut with this soft cotton logo tee. And you know what's interesting about this design? It does look like they are interlocked, but if you kind of like squint your eyes, it also kind of looks like a very dimensional one C in front of the other one. I don't know if that's just me. According to Nike, the shirt is available, but it's not available just yet. But you can be notified for when it does go on sale. I can only imagine it's going to get sold out lickety-split.
With the market test a clear knockout, Nike knew it was time to strike, for real this time. No more hints, no more subtle drops. The curtain finally lifted on Caitlin Clark's official signature logo. It was sharp, elegant, and instantly memorable. Two sleek, interlocking C's formed the base, a nod to her initials. But the brilliance was in the detail. Nestled in the negative space was a subtle third element, a hidden K, a clever design cue symbolizing that her game isn't just flashy, it's built from within, from grit, vision, and core fundamentals. But make no mistake, this wasn't just a branding rollout. This was Nike planting a flag. A message to rivals like Under Armour and Adidas that their chess pieces had been moved, and the endgame had begun. The logo wasn't just for sneakers or merch. It was the launch signal for a full-blown empire. And with that reveal, Nike didn't just claim Caitlin Clark. They declared dominance.
And all it took was for her to take to social media to make this announcement, for everybody to go into a frenzy, and for, I think, the vibes to pick up just a little bit. It's that genuine love the fans have for Caitlin Clark. And the logo, pretty dope. Pretty dope, if I do say so myself. You should see it right there. That's the look at it. From the truck, they're going to be having to back up Brinks trucks to deal with all the orders that are coming for that sucker. But Caitlin Clark makes the announcement, says that the signature line is
on the night of the big reveal. Every fan in attendance at the Indiana Fever game walked away with a piece of history, the very first official Caitlin Clark signature merch from Nike. No small giveaway, this was a carefully curated launch moment. The reaction? Instant and explosive. Social media lit up like wildfire, but this time, the comparisons weren't to rival sports brands. Instead, conversation swirled around fashion heavyweights, names like Chanel, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton. Nike had successfully repositioned Clark beyond the court, casting her as a premium style icon with crossover appeal into luxury fashion. What once looked like a quiet stumble had transformed into a thunderous victory. Nike had flipped the narrative, turning a whispered doubt into a booming declaration. Caitlin Clark wasn't just the future of sports, she was the future of culture.
Caitlin Clark's new Kobe Bryant 5 sneaker sells out online in minutes. There hasn't been this much calamity over a white woman's shoe since Cinderella and the glass slipper.
And of course, just today, Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe. I also heard that Nike stocked about 14,000 of these, and that is an unconfirmed report, but they sold out in less than a minute. If that's any indication of what a Caitlin Clark signature shoe will do, I think Nike better continue to get on it and get ready to launch this brand for Caitlin.
Then came the hard evidence, the numbers that turned the Caitlin Clark phenomenon from speculation into undeniable fact. In the days after unveiling her signature logo, Nike's stock didn't just rise, it surged, jumping a full 17%. This wasn't a lucky spike or a passing trend. Wall Street was paying close attention. Nike wasn't merely moving merchandise, they were sending a crystal-clear signal to investors. They had struck gold. This was a game changer, not just for the company, but for the entire sports industry. And the momentum didn't stop there. Next up, jersey sales. The real test of fan devotion, and the ultimate proof that Clark's influence was reshaping the market in real time.
The hardest logo, man, right now, currently, man. This is so dope, man. Oh, Nike, y'all did a good job with this, man. This is so clean. Go on her shoes, for shirts. Oh, man, that's going to be so raw. Clark with the hardest logo in the game right now, man. That shit is super clean. I love it. I love it. It's super dope, man. Hey, Clark, just when they want to be dropping they stuff, you know you got something in the works, man, and you're going to drop it. It's going to be way harder than everybody else's shit, man. The new God Caitlin Clark logo, man. Super sick.
Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever jersey didn't just sell well, it exploded onto the scene, becoming the second best-selling basketball jersey worldwide, across both the WNBA and NBA. Only Stephen Curry, the very star who once tried to recruit her, stood ahead. Her jersey sales soared by a staggering 1,193%, a number that shattered expectations and rewrote the rulebook on athlete-driven merchandise. But Clark's impact went beyond just her own gear. WNBA merchandise sales league-wide surged by an astonishing 500%, with major retailers like Dick's Sporting Goods reporting a massive 233% jump in sales. She wasn't just a player anymore. Caitlin Clark had become a one-woman economic powerhouse, a stimulus package fueling the entire sport and transforming its market overnight.
And I understand what Nike is doing. Nike is trying to get into the luxury brand style, the luxury department style, almost a little bit getting out of sporting. If they successfully do this, this has never been done. Never been done. A sport brand turn a luxury brand, and it's affordable. Affordable. See, that's the whole thing. It's a luxury brand that's affordable and it's fashionable at the same damn time. And if this is how the ladies stuff look, I'm desperately seeking how the men stuff look.
The logo and t-shirts? Just the opening act. The real showstopper is still on the horizon, and insiders are already bracing for it to break every record in the book. Caitlin Clark's first official signature sneaker is set to drop in 2026, and the financial forecasts are nothing short of staggering. Nick DiPaula, one of the most respected voices in sneaker analysis, has publicly predicted that the Clark shoe line will hit a jaw-dropping $100 million in revenue right out of the gate. But some projections go even further, with industry experts speculating the brand could soar as high as $150 million in its inaugural year alone. This isn't just a product launch. It's the birth of a powerhouse, one that could redefine the business of women's sports endorsements forever.
To me, this is more than just a logo. It's a dream come true. People always talk about leaving your mark on the game, and this is another way I can do that. That Nike shoe is going to sell. If you had Nike stock and you were worried about it, this is the event to alleviate some of that stress. This is the moment to rejoice. And there you have it, Caitlin Clark fans and everybody who's been sitting on pins and needles about all this. It is finally on the way. The logo has been revealed. Soon enough, we will get the shoe.
To put those numbers into perspective, Clark's signature line would immediately vault her into the elite ranks of basketball's most successful franchises, joining the top 5 globally and going head-to-head with some of the biggest NBA legends. In the WNBA's 28-year history, only a dozen women have ever been honored with their own signature shoe. Caitlin Clark isn't just stepping onto that shortlist, she's on track to completely redefine the ceiling for what's achievable. This isn't just about adding another name to the roster. It's about rewriting the entire playbook, breaking barriers, and setting new standards for women in sports and business alike.
I hope they really decide to personalize a lot of these items that they're going to be dropping. Like, I want storytelling to come back to sneakers and clothes. Like, I just want y'all to tell a story again, Nike. Like really bring that back. The reason why I love Jordan's Bread 11 is because everything that comes with the story that comes along with it. Like, he likes wearing suits. He wanted something that can be on and off the court. You know, the toe boxes, because he likes to drag his feet. The lace lock on some of his shoes. It's like he just didn't feel like tying his sneakers and stuff like that. Like, obviously it's going to be up to Caitlin Clark to create some viral moments in her shoe in order to bring light to what the shoe is, but just bring storytelling back to sneakers.
Caitlin Clark's influence goes well beyond merchandise and endorsements. She's changing the entire landscape of women's sports as a media phenomenon. The most striking proof lies in the viewership numbers. On average, a WNBA game with Clark on the court pulls in an astonishing 1.09 million viewers. Without her, that number drops to just 414,000. That's nearly triple the audience, simply because she's playing. This kind of impact doesn't just boost ratings, it reshapes how broadcasters, advertisers, and sponsors see the value of women's sports, turning Caitlin Clark into a true game-changer on and off the court.
CC logo, ready to go. I need t-shirts, hats, pants, shoes, socks. I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. And I'm balling every time I come and talk to you. Yeah, I want it all, CC. I need all the CC merch. It's about time, Nike. Y'all have taken long enough. It should not have taken this long for you guys to get this stuff together. I don't know what the holdup was. Actually, I do believe I know what the holdup was. Y'all didn't want a bunch of people hating and mad and all that. I know. I'm ready for this merch to drop. Cannot wait. The Caitlin Clark merch is going to be absolutely fire. The sneakers are going to be off the hook.
Networks are now locked in a fierce bidding war to secure Caitlin Clark's content, transforming what used to be routine regular season games into must-watch national television events. Her magnetic pull is reshaping the entire media landscape around the WNBA. This surge in attention is a driving force behind the league's groundbreaking new media rights deal, an unprecedented 11-year agreement worth roughly $2 billion. This deal isn't just big, it's transformative. It will triple the league's revenue, completely rewriting the financial playbook for professional women's basketball. And make no mistake, this seismic shift is riding on the back of one transcendent star whose influence reaches far beyond the hardwood.
Regardless about how anybody feels about it, the second these things drop, they are going to fly off the shelves. But one thing is for certain, at least it's not the revised Cracker Barrel logo that actually made the company's stock dip significantly upon its recent release. Shares actually fell 7% in the one day that it was released. And I know this is like completely off topic, but it's just something that I found so utterly fascinating. And if you aren't aware, the old Cracker Barrel logo actually featured Uncle Herschel, which was a man that was just leaning up against the barrel with a tagline underneath that said Old Country Store. The company actually came out and apologized, saying that they could do better.
Looking back now, Nike's early silence wasn't a stumble. It was the calm before a seismic storm. The $28 million, 8-year contract they inked with Caitlin Clark no longer looks like a hefty price tag. Instead, it's shaping up as the deal of the century. As one retail analyst put it, Nike's investment goes far beyond just selling sneakers. It's about aligning with a cultural icon and riding the wave of her historic rise. With Clark's signature shoe alone expected to generate as much as $150 million, that initial outlay is already set to pay for itself, many times over. Those critics who scoffed at the hype, who claimed she was getting more attention than deserved, they're now being silenced by the unmistakable sound of cash registers ringing. Nike foresaw what was coming. They bet on a revolution, invested in a cultural force, and today, they're harvesting the rewards. The logo was just the spark. The signature shoe? That's the explosion. And make no mistake, the Caitlin Clark era is only just beginning.